Hey y'all, it's your girl Charity B, and welcome to the I'm Enough Mastering Self-Love podcast. This podcast was designed for both men and women who are in the process or wanting to start their self-love journey. Here we discuss many topics related to self-love that promotes healthy habits that will help support your mental and emotional health, boost self-confidence, and self-worth. So get ready. This is something you don't want to miss. If you like what you hear in this episode, feel free to DM me and leave comments on my Instagram page at iam.enoughmsl. The podcast is also available on YouTube. The link will be in my description box as well as on my Instagram page. When was the last time you sat with yourself? Without distractions, without responsibilities, without needing to be on for anyone else. Some of us aren't afraid of being alone. We're afraid of what we'll feel when it gets quiet. What if the reason you always need company is because you don't feel safe with yourself? Hey y'all, it's your girl Charity B, and welcome back to the I'm Enough Mastering Self-Love podcast. If you are new here, welcome. I am glad that you chose to tune in and take a step forward into loving yourself on a deeper level. If you are a returning listener, welcome back. My hope for each of you is that today's episode gives you something meaningful to carry forward. Whether it's a reminder to embrace your journey, tools to help you evolve into the best version of yourself, or insight you can apply in your everyday life. Whatever it is that you need, I hope you find it here. Welcome to another episode. This is episode 6, Learning to Sit with Myself Again. We're going to be talking about reconnecting with ourselves after being on for everyone else. The term always being on equals emotional exhaustion. If you know, you know. When this happens, you're losing connection with yourself because you are showing up for everyone else. I want you to think, when was the last time someone considered you? I'm talking about a time when you wish someone would see you struggling and step in and handle the situation like you have done many times for others. This episode is about returning to yourself. This is your time to learn how to be selfish. And when you think about it, it's really crazy how we can be deeply connected to everyone else and still feel disconnected with yourself. Like, how is that even so? When you are the first one that you see in the morning and the last one when you go to bed. You know yourself best, hopefully, but yet you know nothing about yourself. You don't know what you like, what entertains you, what turns you on, what turns you off. You can't even say what you like to do when someone asks, what's your favorite thing to do, or tell me about yourself. It's something that you're stumped on or have to think about for a while. If that sounds like you and you're sitting here listening, stay tuned, stay locked in, listen in. Let's do some further discovering on what being on all the time actually looks like or what that means. You always checking in on others. You're being the strong one from others. And oh my gosh, I am so tired of hearing that you are strong and you're the strong person and you strong this and blah, 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 blah. After constantly mentioning all the time, I don't want to be that. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to do that. Are you not listening to me? I do not want to hear it or think about being strong right now for myself or others. I actually want to witness a time of actually being weak and somebody taking care of me, how I have taken care and showed up for others. And they didn't even have to tell me how to take care or show up for them. That I just want them to show up for me and somebody switches place for me for a second and be strong for me, you know? But it also can look like people pleasing, anticipating others' needs, not allowing yourself to fully rest, and feeling responsible for others' emotions. How can doing these things allow you to lose connection with yourself? Well, it can lead you to ignoring your own needs, disconnecting from your own emotions, not knowing what you like to do anymore, like I just mentioned, feeling uncomfortable in your own silence, and also feeling every moment with a distraction, whether it's your phone or whether it's doing something or making sure that you have to check something else off your list, or even after checking everything off your list, you find something else to do so that way you don't have to sit in silence. That's what it looks like to lose connection with yourself. Those are just the simple things or small things or a few things that you can notice to know that you no longer have a connection with who you are. And if you have started to become aware, or your body is starting to send signals, you're starting to notice that you are not being able to sit with yourself anymore and it makes you feel bad, here's why. Because you're avoiding your own emotions. That silence that you feel, it leaves room for opportunity. You know that saying that people say, idle mind is the devil's workshop? Well, the silence is where you feel like you haunt yourself. Silence will confront you with every distraction you kept running from. Everything or every person or every situation that you try to run from and avoid, it will come back and try to hunt you. You're probably also used to being constant stimulated. The stimulation of a phone, people, noise, anything to distract yourself. You don't know what calm is or silence is. So all you know is noise. So that's what you put yourself in because you think that's the norm. You probably tie your worth to being needed. That what makes you feel important or like you're doing something important. You haven't found importance in things that you actually like. And so you center your happiness about making other people happy. And that's how you lose yourself. But what happens when they don't need you anymore and they can figure it out on their own? Where does your worth come from then? Yes, stillness can feel uncomfortable when you've only ever known movement. But this is our chance, this is our opportunity to not to make our existence, our total existence, our happiness based off being needed by others. This is our chance to change that. This is our chance to actually be in a moment where we notice that we're becoming doormats for other people, willingly or unwillingly, and cater to ourselves. Get to know who you are. Figure out what you like. Get that connection back. And I think everyone deserves to be able to experience true happiness within themselves, because it definitely don't come from other people, you being with people, because people will disappoint you in a lot of ways if you have these high expectations from them, because that's where you get your happiness from. Actually, let's talk about it. Entering our raw and uncut segment right here. Let's talk about me personally, or from my personal experience. I've spent a lot of my life pouring into people, my friends, my family, my relationships, being the one who listens, who holds spaces, who showed up. And somewhere along the way, to be honest, I realized I learned how to love people deeply without always experiencing the same kind of love for myself. And it's not because people didn't care, but because I didn't always know how to ask for what I needed or even recognize it fully myself. And now that I do, everything has changed. My whole mentality has changed. I'm not in a season currently where I'm looking to pour into everyone else. I'm learning how to pour into me. I'm not looking to be everything for everyone. I'm learning how to be present for myself in ways I never have before. That means sometimes I won't have the capacity to hold space like I used to. Not because I don't love you, but because I'm finally including myself in that care. So if I say I don't have the capacity for that right now, it's not rejection. It's just my honesty and my truth. I don't have the capacity right now. And moving forward, I'm choosing me fully, consistently, and without apology. And I hope that you guys do the same. Because it has been a lot of times where I felt like in the past 2 years and when I really was going through stuff, I expected people to show up for me in a certain way that I've showed up for them. And they failed me every time. And I remember sitting in my therapy session and I was talking about, what I had went through. And the first thing they always ask you, do you feel like you had the support system that you needed during that time? Or do you feel like the people around you showed up for you as you would hope them to? And to be honest, my answer was no, they did not. In some way possible. I'm not saying they didn't show up at all, because I'm very grateful how people showing up for me because they cared. But in some way, form, or fashion, somebody has failed me in some area into where it caused some friction at a time where I didn't need friction. I needed support. I needed help. I needed that same energy, that same love, same consideration the first time, like I did everybody else, and I couldn't get that back. And I feel like instead of it affecting me, yes, eventually I voiced how I felt, but it taken me a long time to actually try to forgive people for how they moved when I felt like you should have did something else. You should have considered me the first time. And it's just in every aspect, because I was going through a lot, and people expect because you're the strong person or you always can figure it out. No, this right here, I ain't never been through this before. I did the best I could with what I had, but I really needed a lot more support. And even now, it's things that I'm dealing with, that family members, even like friends, and some people I have to like really just forgive. I'm not saying it's something that, I'm holding over their head or that I'm angry about, but you forgive, but you don't forget. And I feel like in some instances, you really don't forgive if you can't really like look at that person and not tie that situation to them. Not that you're holding over their head or how you treat them is based off of that, but it's like, now I know how to move. I had to realize that you can have high expectations for people, but if they are not capable of giving you what you need, how you expected it, even after you voiced it, that's just something they're not capable of. And you may love and care for this person, but you have to accept them that they're not you. And that's okay. However, moving forward, I'm going to pick me every time. Every time. If it's above my capacity, then it's above my capacity. At some point in time, you have to figure it out for yourself, because I had to myself. And I was going through hell and hot water. I'm barely surviving, but I made it look good because God gave me the strength. But people don't realize what I had, I don't have anymore. The difference between me and back then and me now that I can point out is everybody ran to me for the solutions. And you know who I ran to? Who was my person that I could fall in their arms every day or any time where I needed help, and to me to fall in and be like, I don't know what to do, and they come up with a solution. That was my mother. That's the only person in the world that I feel like, as far as unconditional love and being able to be there for me, how I was there for others, was my mother. I don't have that anymore. So I have nowhere to be, not to dump, but to run for help and be helpless for once. I don't have that anymore. So now I have to tweak my capacity to where I can still be available for me and still be enough for me and still care for me and still actively care for the other people I care for in my life. And it kind of makes me sad, because now I have to learn new ways to survive that I didn't have to back then. Like I know how to. I'm independent. I know how to have a job. I know how to pay my bills. I'm pretty good. I got a good head on my shoulders. But the emotional support, trying to figure out where to get that from and make up for what I have lost. That's the hard part. But I said all of that to say, Remember this, people are going to be people. This is just the regular instincts for us as human beings to have some selfishness. No matter how much you got a good heart, no matter how much you care about people, there's always the natural automatic sense is to be selfish, because you have to care about yourself at least a little bit. Even people who overextend and let people walk over like doing that, you still have a little bit of care for yourself. It's just the automatic instincts of you have a little bit of care for yourself. And people sometimes without thought can act selfishly and not consider other things around them. It's your duty and your job when that happens that you care about yourself, that you put you first. Because yes, you can be somebody that everybody run to and everybody look for answers for you. But the issue is when you know I'm that person to you, and you have the audacity to make a decision that you know doesn't benefit me in my time of need. No. And people would do it. And it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be intentional, but everybody is selfish in some way, form, or fashion. And it's your duty to protect yourself from them instances. It's okay to have a good heart. It's okay to be a good person. But the exposure that you allow other people to have access to you or be able to contact you or to be able to use you, your responsibility is put a nail in it, a pin in it when needed. I'm saying that to say, learn to say no. Learn to say, nope, I need to consider myself. I need to care about myself. I need to focus on me. I need to connect with myself because I'm starting to lose myself. It should never get to a point where you're so overconsumed about supporting some other people's emotions, like that's your job, and supporting their happiness and making sure because you care about them. That's not your job. When you can no longer draw the line of when it's their responsibility and you being a good person or doing the things you do for people you care about, and it's overpowering or overstepping you, putting you first and your needs. Oh no, we need to go back to the drawing board. What is a life if you're not happy with yourself? Are you losing connection with yourself? What's the use of being in your own body? It's pointless. It's pointless for you might as well go wake up in their body every morning and be in their body than versus being in yours, because that's who you caring for. Put you first. Be selfish. It's okay to be selfish. I don't see nothing wrong with it. To an extent where you just making selfish, careless mistakes and choices that at somebody else's detriment, then okay. No. Like, that's not what we're doing. We're talking about a point where I lose connection with myself. It ain't worth it. I wasn't put here to save everybody. I am not Captain Save 'em, okay? I am Charity. You are you. You are still somebody outside of that caregiver role, outside of being mommy, outside of being a wife, outside of being a partner, outside of being somebody's daughter, sister, brother, cousin. You are somebody outside of these titles. So let's let's relearn how to be with ourselves. Let's experience true happiness with ourselves. Because if you don't, you're going to get lost. And it's going to be a hard time trying to find your way back to yourself if you're so far gone. And I would hate for you to experience that. So since you're here, you have made the first step into wanting to relearn how to be with yourself again, how to connect with yourself. You are making a choice, and you are proving that you want this for yourself. So let's relearn how to be with ourselves. Of course, we're going to start small. I always start small. We don't want to do too many big goals. You can't really achieve them because, of course, as people, we still have a life outside of us. We still got to make the world go round. We got to keep running around and around with the world to stay above water, whether it's our other outside responsibilities. So we can start small if you're someone who has a tight schedule. You can do what we call, like a little bit of 5 to 10 minutes of intentional quiet time in yoga. It might be hard to silence your mind. I'm not going to say if you have a problem, silence your mind. Are you someone who never thought about yoga because you can't sit quiet? It's okay. I think practice makes perfect. If we can aim for 1 minute or 2 minutes to start off with, and then increase it over the weeks, totally fine. Even if it's like going outside to your backyard or on your patio and drinking a cup of coffee or tea and just watching the traffic. Listening to like listening to like meditation music or rain sounds or anything that stimulates the mind to be calm. Do that. Go for a walk in the park. Small stuff. Second thing I would recommend is to remove the pressures off of you. The stipulations, remove it. The goal is not to figure anything out. The goal is to gain self-awareness, noticing things about yourself, processing emotionally. Stop running from things that make you uncomfortable. There is no growth in running. You learn to find comfort in yourself rather than needing external validation for the same feeling. Try to find that within yourself. That happiness that you get from helping people or loving people or taking people you care about, try to find that same happiness and that validation within yourself. What do you do for yourself makes you feel happy? Take care of you. Take care of you as if you were taking care of one of your loved ones that you care about. You hold them like they precious jewels. Do the same thing for yourself. You can care about yourself and the people you love at the same time. And a lot of the time people be using you. Some people don't have good intentions. They'll let you take care of them because they know you're going to do it and you care about them. And they use that because they feel like that's your weakness. No. Have you noticed people who are like that or in that position that really just take care of people, love on their loved ones, and really just ride die? They look so tired and so older than what they are. But the person being taken care and using that person up look good. They look 25 years younger. I've seen that happen. And I'm just like, you're literally slowly killing yourself. You're drying up like a prune while you letting this person get off scotch-free because you care about them. Ain't that much care in the world. You got to value yourself a little bit more than that. Also, doing this, you're able to provide some clarity. It gives you that mental capacity to think forward, think positive. Know that there's something to look forward to. It clears that mind of worrying about what everybody else got going on. And now you can worry about what you have going on and what you need. It also gives you that inner resilience, builds mental and emotional strength. And it also connects you with your authentic self. You get to feel who you really are. What's your flaws? What makes you tick? What triggers you? What makes you angry? What makes you sad? What makes you cry? What do you won't like? What do you don't like? What do you like that does protect your energy? Third thing, you need to notice without judging your thoughts. Notice the thoughts you feel throughout the day, you think throughout the day about yourself, about your job, about just whatever. Think about your feelings that you feel, feelings about yourself. If they're negative thoughts or feelings, okay, well, how can we tweak these so I can say, oh, girl, I know we put on a few pounds, but it's okay, girl. I'm still beautiful. Like, that's okay. And I feel like when you have put on some weight, you failed to look, actually pay attention to how you started looking. I kid you not. I'm not going to lie. So, just between me and y'all, my last relationship, I felt like towards that last year, I stopped noticing myself. Go in the mirror, get dressed, but I'm not really paying attention. And then it kind of got worse, like when my mom got sick, because I had no time to look in the mirror and see if she pretty. I'm putting on what I can and going about my business. But when we finally broke up and the dust settled, because I had already buried my mom maybe like a couple months ago before that happened. I remember looking in the mirror and I was like, oh my gosh, I can finally see myself again. But yeah, I was like, when the relationship, I was like, I can finally see myself. Oh my gosh. I wasn't like sad that the relationship ended. I was relieved. I was upset because, of course, because of how things transpired. But overall, I was not sad that the relationship ended. I was relieved. The only part that was sad is because you know people for so long and then you don't get to know them anymore. But I quickly got over that because it's like, well, now I can focus on me and go get what I really want and what I really deserve. So that's fine. But I said that to say, like, when you care about people, and I was a great girlfriend, so I definitely try to show up for that person when they were down and they had their depressed phases, and they had several. I showed up. Like, I always try to show up and try to care, but I feel like I was so focused on trying to show up for somebody else that emotionally that I started losing sight of other stuff. And then I had other stuff going on that required me to pour out more emotionally and put other people's needs first, that I kind of like lost sight of me and noticing the things that was going on with me physically. So it can easily happen, man. Life. That's all I can say. It's important. Sometimes it's a crazy realization eventually, like, dang, yikes, I really forgot who I was for a second, or what I looked like for a second. But yes, notice without judging your thoughts, your feelings, and when you're restless. Also ask yourself gentle questions like, how am I feeling today? What do I need right now? Why do I feel this way? And let's learn to let that silence be our safe space again. You do not have to perform in your silence. You just have to just be. Just be there. A little bit of this every time, a little practicing this intentionalness of being alone with yourself and in silence. Eventually, it gets better. It might be painful to actually sit through this stuff and face these things, but you cannot continue to run. Not if you want to experience real happiness with yourself. Real happiness in general. Like, if you want positive outcomes in your relationships, even your relationship with God, things to be right or move right or go in the right path. You can't produce good if the inside is all jumbled up in chaos. So get your mental right. Get your vision right. Focus on you and understanding what you need right now to move forward and to prosper. Before we actually wrap this up, I am going to talk about what ways we can reconnect with our identity and ways we can reconnect with ourselves just in general. To reconnect with our identity, figure out these things. What do you enjoy? Do some reflections or some times to really sit. You can do this during your quiet time if you need something to fill the silence. If you like to write, type it up, do that. Think about this. What do you enjoy? If you don't know, let's go figure it out. Pick a hobby, because that's what I did when I was like, the only hobby I had at one point was my podcasting. And then I was like, when I became single, I was like, okay, well, this is my time to kind of like do some self-discovery. And I was just growing. I was like, I kind of like the thought of painting, so let's paint. I love painting canvases. Haven't did it in a while, but that's something I'm definitely going to get into. Even now, and I was like, I got into doing puzzles. I was like, I'm going to go get a puzzle. Love it. Therapeutic. Gets the mind, get the blood, the juices flowing up there in my brain. Just pick something that if it looks like you have interest in it, try it. If it don't work out, try something else. Also think about what feels like you. If you need to change your wardrobe, you like perfumes and lotions, you like to smell good. What feels comfortable? What makes you feel safe? What do you want without considering anyone else? Not how it affects no one else. What do you want? Who are you when you are not needed by anyone else? Now, this one may take some deep reflection or deep thought, maybe a couple days. You got to think about that, a couple weeks, or you have to discover yourself as you go. Totally fine. Do it at your own pace. This is not a race. How we can reconnect with ourselves. How can we implement that into our everyday life or activities we can do with ourselves in order to reconnect with our identity? We can go on solo dates. Love me a good solo date. I went to the movies not that while. I haven't went on a solo date in a minute. I think I went before I moved. I was trying to wait till I get settled and I'll go back. But solo dates. Go to the movies. Watch a movie. Get some popcorn. Treat yourself. Go shopping. Journal without any structure. Just write. Sometimes like a diary. Dear diary. Blah, 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 blah. Even sitting in silence. Yoga for maybe 5 to 10 minutes to start off with. They also have classes. Google search what classes you can go to. Doing something you love to do. Turning on that do not disturb. I love the do not disturb now because when I put it on personal, sometimes the calls be coming through and I be having to go to another one like work or like homework or something and do just press a random one for the calls not call through to come through. Because this new do not disturb, if you call once, it goes straight to voicemail. You call again, it's still going to voicemail. You ain't getting through on that second try. So put that do not disturb on and put that phone down. I have lately been doing what I call 1 day of silence throughout the week. Typically it's Sunday, but I put my phone on do not disturb. I don't talk to anybody. I check in on my aunt and make sure she's fine. And after that, that's it. Don't call, don't text. You can text if I'm okay, I'm alive. Might even make a status, I'm alive, but it's my quiet day. I don't want to talk. I don't want to be on the phone. I just want to be with me. And I promise you, I'm not like a social butterfly. Maybe it's Aquarius thing, but I have a capacity where I feel like it's too much socializing. I can socialize and then I feel too drained. Okay, we finna go in my cocoon, in my little turtle shell, and I am going to not do anything. I'm not going to talk to anybody so I can get my energy back and feel like myself again. I've always been like that. I know how to retract when need be so I can get myself together. But I have 1 day out the week when there's absolutely no silence. Where it's absolutely silence. I'm watching my favorite TV show, doing what I like to do, probably doing one of my hobbies, and it's just me and my dog. So, and even him can go ahead and get lost. He can go in his bed and leave me alone, which is rare unless I'm outside the house. He like to follow me. It's like a kid without having a kid. But anyways, that's what I like to do. Maybe you should, try it 1 day, even half a day if you can't go the whole day. But those are just some ways that you can reconnect with yourself. Also research for your own preference. If none of those sound like something you'll be interested in, Google, ChatGPT, ask, what's some ways I can reconnect with myself in my everyday life. And actually, I have another tip for that one. Let go of always being available. Nope, I'm not available. Nope, you cannot tell me what's going on. And nope, I am not going. I'm standing on it. You don't always have to be the strong one. You don't always have to be there for people, and you don't always have to go. And I have learned, because I get very snappy. If I say I don't want to go nowhere, people be trying to convince me because they want to hang out. I don't care. I think now I'm going to have to if I say I don't want to go, I'm not going. Because I do get aggravated and snappy quick. And I should have just stayed my butt at home like I wanted to. I'm not going to say I just come out and be snappy, but certain things tick me off and I'll be like, okay, this is why I want to stay home. And I have come to the conclusion, no, if I say no, I'm not going. See you next time. So turn that off switch. I'm definitely not the same person I used to be before. I know I'm not. I have a small capacity for BS. Any mess, actually. So, yeah, put you first. What that video or that little gif say, I gotta put me first, Lucius. I gotta put me first. Cookie had enough. Be like Cookie. She had enough. But yeah, just some gentle reflections that I want you to think about. I know we talked about a lot. But some gentle reflections. If you don't take nothing else away, I want you to consider these things either now or after the episode, or in your quiet alone time, or just randomly through your day. Some reflections I want you to think about is, when do I feel most disconnected with myself? What do I avoid when I'm alone? And what would it look like to feel safe with myself again? Map it out. Have a plan. That way you won't fall behind. Get an accountability apartment. Girl, what? Get an accountability partner, whether that's a therapist. It even can be your dietitian. It could be anybody. Doctor. Have somebody that can help you or check in with you and make sure you're on track. Learning to sit with yourself again isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you've always been, underneath the roles, the expectations, and the need to always be on. You deserve a relationship with yourself that feels safe, honest, and peaceful. Okay? Claim it. Choose it. Now, before we close, we will end this episode with this season's mantra. If you are still doing some reflections, or you're still thinking about this episode, taking notes down, whatever it is, you're not mentally just ready to decompress after this episode, please pause here. And I want you to press play when you are ready. Now, I want you to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Again, deep breath in and a deep breath out. One more time. I want you to take it all the way in. And exhale. I want you to repeat after me. I honor what ended. I protect what's healing. I reclaim what's mine. Repeat it. Sit with it. Let it be the reminder that this year is yours fully. Next episode, we're going to talk about the nervous system first, everything else second. We are talking about practical grounding strategies to recover from emotional exhaustion. And it's something you don't want to miss. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications on my YouTube page at I'm Enough Pod, so you never missed an episode. If this message resonated with you, please share it with someone who may need to hear it. You can also follow me on Instagram at iam.enoughmsl. If you're locked in this season, feel free to share a photo of you journaling, your reflections, or this season's mantra on Instagram. Thank you again, and I see you guys next time. Bye-bye.